Happy Tuesday. TGIT. Thank God it's Tuesday. Hope everybody's busy as a bee, cheerful as a cricket, steady as a clock. We'll get this started. My name's Travis. I've lost over 100 pounds on the program. Have come off all prescription medications, and really enjoy helping other people do what I've done and do our best to reconnect to the Holy Spirit within us, that self-discipline that is on the inside of us. So it's been an honor of a lifetime to be able to do this, and it's amazing to see so many Shibboleth members also kind of take up the mantle and help me help people. That's what we're trying to do here. We've got three types of members here. We've got our free community members. Welcome. I'm glad that you're with us today. We hope that you're watching the fast track videos, going through the curriculum. I should have said that, going through the curriculum, the fast tracks for our lifetime members, but going through the curriculum, beginning to understand how to combine foods properly, coming to these classes, learning about the Bulletproof Shield, learning how we live. It's really a very powerful nutritional lifestyle, and we're glad that you're with us. But we want to especially thank our lifetime members and our partners. We could not do this without you. We love you so much. Appreciate you making a way for us to do what we do. God bless you all. Appreciate you. All right, let's get this thing started. We start each session off with Q&A. At 12, we'll have a kind of an open forum. We'll have 30 minutes of Q&A at noon. Anything goes, weight loss, wellness, support, literally anything goes. That session today will start at 12 and end at 12:30 due to some prior commitments. I'll be with this group until you run out of questions. I'll be with this group from 11 to 12. But this particular class, we try to stay more focused on the Shibboleth Shield, how to have a perfect day, food combining, and meal ideas for those who are struggling with food combining and not really understanding why we do food combine. Food combining is very powerful. I see a lot of folks that buy supplements and spend $70, $80 for some weight loss capsules and not realizing that most of those capsules are to help control appetite and produce more energy. They do things that food does, but much more powerfully. Food controls appetite and helps us lose body fat in a much more powerful way than supplements can. Supplements can give us a little bit of an edge if we're already eating right, but food, if I could point more people toward the power and the benefits of just food combining, we would heal our nation. But we'll get started. Any questions for me today as we get started? We'd like to do that in the beginning because we know a lot of people have to go early from this 11 o'clock session. So any questions? Nikki has questions. I have questions how to combine for breakfast. I was unsure on my breakfast this morning. Sure, let us know what you had and we'll take a look at it and see if you did the right thing. Anybody else? Any other questions? Hey, Daniel Greenway. Hope you're doing well. Hope your family's doing well. Any questions? We're waiting on Nikki's going to expound on her question, but we have time for other questions too. Tabitha, yes, someone at church last night said I must be working my tail off at the gym. I told her I haven't been to the gym since June. It's all good combining. The look on her face was priceless. It's true. It's all food combining, creating metabolism through our food choices. Some foods require very little blood flow to the digestive system, so we don't expend energy or build our metabolism when we eat them. Processed foods, junk foods. When we eat whole foods like we're eating and we combine them properly, we're getting a lot of blood flow and energy expenditure through the digestive system, and it's aching to exercise. So when we food combine properly, whole foods that is, we're expending energy like we're exercising, but it tastes really good. It's exercise that tastes great. Joyce, I've been craving a chili dog. What will be the best combination for that? Obviously, just sticking with the program. Okay, so a chili dog, there's nothing on Shibboleth we can't have. So you're looking for an approved frank. Okay, let me know, Joyce. Do you need me to go to the library for you, or do you know how to do that? Let me know in this thread. If you don't know how to do that, you don't know how to settle on an approved frank, I'm happy to show you in the group. So we've got an approved frank, an approved bun. We got, maybe we have ketchup, maybe we have mustard. I don't know what you like. These are not mandatory. Maybe you even have some relish. Relish is a freebie, as long as it's not sweet relish. Doesn't have too much sugar in it. A lot of relish is sweet, but it's usually only 2 or 3 grams of sugar per serving. No big deal. So ketchup, mustard. What else do you want on your hot dog? See, I don't know, because I like a very robust chili dog, right? So I don't know what you like. Tell me what you like, and we'll make substitutions. I'm just throwing darts in the dark here. But an approved frank and approved bun. Why not use any frank? Because if it's too fatty, you potentially are going to store the fat. Why not use just any bun? If you use just a regular white bun, the whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead. You're going to have an insulin acceleration, and you're going to store the fat from the frank. So we need an approved bun. And then chili, you could use a chili recipe, a chili approved recipe, and use the chili as a condiment. Chili approved recipe, or you could use like Wendy's chili. Wendy's chili is approved. So if you've got some of that, get some of that on the way home, use it as a condiment. Since we already have a protein source, the approved frank. We don't want to use a ton of chili. We would only want to use chili as a condiment, maybe 2 heaping tablespoons. That's not that bad. That's 6 teaspoons of chili over our dog. You'd only want 1 of these if you're in the weight loss mode. If you're in maintenance, you could probably get by with 2 of them, but I wouldn't do that. I don't like stretching my stomach or expanding my stomach. So what I need to know now from you, Joyce, is what up here do you not understand, so I can help you and help the group? Do you know what an approved frank is? Do you know what an approved bun is? And do you know how to find an approved chili recipe? And we'll keep going. Nikki, omelet with 1 whole egg. Okay, so let's take a look at Nikki's. So an omelet, 1 egg. That's the category 4. 2 egg whites. That's a category 1. Yes, it is okay to add whole eggs to egg whites, but now you treat the egg whites like a 4. Avocado as a condiment. You'd have to use it only as a condiment. And you also want, you got a lot going on here. Okay, so for the weight loss mode, I would be concerned. You got a lot going on. We don't need all that at 1 meal, but I think you can fit it in if it's important to you. So I have a side of low-fat cottage cheese. How much? I don't know how much. Low-fat cottage cheese is a 1. So you got a category. So here's what you got. Here's what she's got. Does everybody see this? She's got a 1 plus a 4 plus a condiment. She's got a bit, that 1 avocado's got 300 plus calories in it. So she'd only want to use avocado here as a condiment. If she used, let's say 1 whole egg is 70 calories, egg whites is minimal calories. I think you can fit all this in if you control your portion of low-fat cottage cheese, maybe a half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese. So you got a 1 plus 4. So you had eggs, egg whites. What were they cooked in? That's important. Like if you're just cooking them in a regular butter fat. Here's the thing. All of this matters. It's easy. Once you've mastered this, it's easy. But until you master it, it takes some thought. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to think this stuff through. And so I'm having to think this through because this is not something I would have. So the things that I would have, they're just on automatic for me. I'm on autopilot. There's only 30, 40 different meals I eat, even though we can have thousands of meals. So you've got to find that 30 or 40 meals you'll eat and that you'll stick with. So maybe this is one. So you've got a whole egg, category 4, egg whites, Pam cooking spray or MCT oil, avocado as a condiment, half a cup or less of low-fat cottage cheese, and you got a good meal. You can have a 1 and a 4 and a condiment. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Jessica, I have a line question. Some meats have quantitative amounts, 2 to 8 ounces. For bacon, do you just do a calorie count on that for the portion of bacon? You can do, if you're having a line day, 2 to 8 ounces of bacon. But now you can't add on another 2 to 8 ounces of brisket and another 2 to 8 ounces of, so you could go 8 ounces of bacon depending on what else you're going to have with that. You're having a line day, so I'm not really worried about all the fat in the bacon, but I need to know what else you're having with it. Okay, so Joyce does know how to search chili and all the things you mentioned. So Joyce, you'll find canned chili in the food library. You'll find canned chili, approved canned chili that has enough protein and fiber to negate any bad that would come from it. You've got the chili recipe, and then you've got Wendy's chili. Yeah, Nikki, your meal was really very clean. You didn't add any cottage cheese, but you could have, as long as you maintained your overall portion. You don't want to leave a meal feeling filled. You want to leave a meal feeling energized. But all of those things would be good. You should write that down. And then you've got one in your arsenal that you can pull out when you're craving it. Yes, Joyce, the Hebrew National Franks, is it 97? I believe they're 97% lean. They're perfect. Yeah, Jessica, you could have cheese with your bacon. So you could have plenty of bacon with a side of full fat cheese. You do not want fat-free cheese on a line day. You only want 0 carb cheese. So full fat cheese and bacon could be a meal on a lion day. Yeah, you're pushing it, Jessica. You're really pushing it. Depending on how much avocado you want to have with that, you're going to start really jacking up those calories. So now we would need to look, Jessica, at what else you're going to be having throughout the day, because you still have to stay beneath your baseline metabolic rate in order to lose body fat, if that is the goal. So bacon, cheese, avocado, you're potentially getting up to 700-800 calories. So if that's your only meal for the day, and the other, or maybe they're going to be 2 meals, and your other meal is really small, you could get by with that. Nikki's asking what a lion day is. Okay, so there's many different types of days on Shibboleth. The only day that any student would ever need to lose weight and keep it off forever is a perfect day, the standard perfect day. Then there are more restrictive type days meant for different situations and different reasons. And one of those reasons that I come up with different type days is people are crazy. We're all crazy. I mean that. We're all loons. We live in a culture that has made us lunatics. I'm not insulting you. I'm one too. How many of you, one day you feel like a nut and the next day you don't? How many of you over the last 2 or 3 years have said, I'm going to be a vegan, and it lasted a day? You're all a bunch of lunatics, and so am I. So we have these different type days based upon different situations and different states of minds based upon the day. So if you're really wanting some full fat bacon, if you want some full fat bacon, you're just feeling like a lunatic today, and you want full fat bacon, we have rules where you can have full fat bacon and full fat cheese and eat like a carnivore. We also have intermittent fasting type days. We have tiger type days. We have lion type days. We have shark type days. It's not to make the program more confusing. It's to help people overcome their mental limitations. I know I have them. If you tell me I have to eat a certain way the rest of my life, that may sound good to me today, but tomorrow I may wake up and be a lunatic again. And I committed to something yesterday, and today I can't seem to commit to it. We're all lunatics. So I created a program for us lunatics. And so, there are videos in the library where you can watch them, and it explains each type day. Each type day has a detail, a detailed description on how to have it the right way. Now, if Jessica decides in the middle of the day, look, the way this program's set up, you can't decide in the middle of the day you want to be a lunatic. Okay. If Jessica says, I'm having a lion day today, she can really do herself harm, set herself back, not any more harm than she could have before she came to this lifestyle. I mean, how much more harm can you do than eating Doritos and Twinkies? But you can still not get all the benefits of the program if during the middle of a lion day or a tiger day, you decide to jump ship and have a big old bag of popcorn. So when you commit, I expect that those that have a willing and wanting heart, they can commit for one day at a time. So if you commit for a full day of a lion or shark day, you need to finish that the way it is outlined in those videos. Diane, if MCT is good for weight loss, why not make bulletproof coffee? I never said that MCT was good for weight loss. That is a myth. That's what y'all hear. And I don't mean that as a pointed, when y'all go to Googling MCT, it says that it's good for weight loss. I've never said it's good for weight loss by itself. So bulletproof coffee, I am not a believer in at all, unless you are unless you are working out and you need to increase your quality calories. You need more energy for your active day, or you're a bodybuilder, exercise enthusiast. I do not believe in bulletproof coffee, and I'm happy to explain why. But I've never said that MCT oil by itself is good for weight loss. Never. I said if you're at home and you're going, now, is it indirectly good for weight loss? Have you heard me say it's indirectly good? Maybe. But adding it to everything because we think it's good for weight loss is counterproductive. You're just adding pointless calories to something. So that MCT oil, adding it to a pre-digested liquid that should be 0 calories, and we are increasing the calories by 100 per tablespoon. Now our coffee is no longer clean 0 calorie coffee. It is full of fat that now the body has to burn it off before it can tap back into stored fat. That does not make sense for someone who's going through a weight loss. They're trying to obtain a weight loss goal. Now, we say my whole program was this way. If I'm going to eat it, let's look at it. Let's look how it breaks down. And is there a way to do that better? So that with every meal, I create an advantageous situation. So what have I always said about MCT oil, everyone, for those in the weight loss mode? At home, when we're cooking, when a recipe calls for a fat, I want to make sure that everybody's heard this before. The bulletproof craze is coming back. And now that may not be why Diane's asking, but I'm getting a lot of folks they are adding it to their coffee because they're saying that I said it was good for weight loss. I never said that. It is directly not good for weight loss. However, if I'm at home and a recipe calls for a cooking fat, would I be better off to use a medium chain triglyceride cooking oil as opposed to a non-heat stable long chain triglyceride like olive oil? Yes. I'm going to have less fat storage. I'm going to have less fat storage. I'm going to have more muscle preservation. It is indirectly good for weight loss in that way because we are avoiding those long chain triglyceride fats in our cooking. We're getting the same calories. Olive oil per tablespoon is about the same amount of calories as MCT oil per tablespoon. Now I've cooked my meal in MCT oil, and that MCT oil, even though it's the same calories, is going to burn and be used as an energy source much more efficiently and much faster than an LCT, so that I can get back into efficient fat burning status after my meal goes through a couple of phases of digestion. This was a very important question and comment that was raised. One of the more important ones that we've addressed in a few days. I want to make sure that you all heard that and understood that, because what I teach gets mingled up with 1,000 other programs that are searchable on Google. And that's one that I want to address. Thank you, Diane, for bringing it up. Any questions or comments about how I believe we should be using MCT oil? I'm going to step off camera and sneeze. Sorry about that. All right. Is everybody clear on that? Let me keep going down. Diane, let me know if you have other questions about that. I probably need to unpack it a little more. Why would somebody want bulletproof coffee? For you to put on muscle, you have to work out extremely hard with heavy resistance. You have to break muscular tissue down. And to put on muscle and recover, put on new muscle, you have to have a surplus of calories. MCT is a clean calorie source where we can get into a surplus of calories and build back muscle, because our protein is preserved to build back muscle. We can build more muscle when we're adding MCT calories to get our surplus. None of us here are wanting to operate in a calorie surplus that I know. Maybe we have a bodybuilder here, but I have very few people wanting to gain weight. Okay. Some people will put MCT oil in a cup of coffee. Not saying that there's been clients I've told to do that because they want to do that. I might do it then, but do it this way. If that's something that's important to you, Diane, it can be modified within our program, but I would suggest you have to call it something other than a freebie. If you want to put MCT oil in your coffee, I see nothing wrong with you doing that to get a burst of energy, but you would need to call that a snack. It's just not something I promote because most people are struggling with their calorie intake anyway. I woke up this morning a little less than 5 pounds lighter than yesterday morning. But a few hours later, I was only 1 pound lighter. What weight do I go by in my journal? It doesn't matter because you're watching the trend. Yes, I do that too. When we start drinking fluid, when we get up in the morning, we drink a little fluid or something, our weight's going to go up. So you pick out the weight that you want to put. It isn't going to matter if you look at it month over month, right? You see what I'm saying? So if you're losing 10 to 12 pounds a month, it's not going to matter if you look at it April 1st compared to May 1st, right? So I do what I do is I enter my morning weight. My morning weight, I get up out of the bed, I weigh, and that's the weight that I go by in the My Shibboleth website. But it doesn't matter unless you're looking at it every day. Then it can be terribly frustrating because you're not enjoying the process as much as you should, and you're trying to get to a goal, and the goal's not coming fast enough. You get up, you're down 5, you're so excited, and then a few hours later, you're only down 1 pound. Well, you know what do I enter? Do I put the weight where it doesn't matter? None of it's going to matter if you do this as a lifestyle. You're going to reach goal. Going to. Lisa says, just give me straight Shibboleth perfect days for now. If I have too much to think about, that's fine. You don't have to learn about those other days at all. Are you saying that you need me to go over it, Lisa? I think you probably already know it. You're just saying you're going to stick with regular perfect days, and that is fine. That's terrific. Did you need me to go over how to have a perfect day? I don't think you did. You've been around a while, but if you do, let me know, and I'm happy to do that. Does bio coffee taste like real coffee? Not to me. It tastes better than real coffee. It does have a little bit of a coffee flavor to it. I'll let coffee connoisseurs answer that question. Lisa, I've just always heard you say MCT is good for pan frying or sauteed foods if needed, or in salad dressing. Yes, anytime that a recipe calls for a fat, we should replace that fat with MCT oil. Yeah, I hadn't watched all of Kim Dankey's Fast Track. It may be that she mentioned that it's good for weight loss. I'm just saying what I teach is indirectly you can make the case for that it's good for weight loss indirectly. But calories are calories. They all break down differently, so all calories are not created equal, but it still is calories. Now, they may be calories that burn faster than it's going to burn faster than olive oil, therefore it's less ability to be stored as fat. And I know most of my teachers and most of my sport team will say MCT is good for weight loss, but that leads one to thinking that they should be adding it to everything, and then they forget that there are more than 100 calories per serving. So I do not believe that myself or the teachers should be telling folks that it's, and they don't mean to. I probably have said it too. It is good for weight loss because it's better than the alternative. I hope that makes sense. Sally, when I make Greek dressing, my recipe is 3/4 oil, 1/4 red vinegar, 3/4 oil, 1/4 red vinegar. For my oil, for the best, should I use olive oil or MCT oil or split it? When I make Greek dressing, my recipe is 3/4 oil. You should use MCT oil. This is an example of when MCT oil is good for weight loss. I just said it. It's good for weight loss in that it's better for weight loss than your olive oil. So anytime at home when we control our habitat, we should replace long chain triglyceride oils with MCT oil when we can, when it's possible. When it's possible and practical, we should, any recipe, we should change that oil out with MCT oil. So by you mixing olive oil and MCT oil, that's better than you using all olive oil. But I would go on and get rid of the olive oil and use MCT oil. You are doing a little better because your olive oil is in its virgin state and not cooked. It doesn't sound like. So olive oil is not quite as bad for you if it's not cooked. But why risk additional calories being stored when MCT oil has almost no propensity to wind up on the body as fat, and olive oil has a high propensity to wind up on the body as fat? Diane, so when we cook a lean protein in MCT, it has a low propensity for fat storage, but adding it to pre-digested sources, it just adds calories. No, I'm not saying that either. It's probably my inability to explain myself. Let me try again. So when we cook a lean protein in MCT, it has a low propensity for fat storage, but adding it to pre-digested sources, it just adds calories. No, that's not what I'm saying. So I'm saying if we look at the program from a practical standpoint, when you are cooking something and that recipe does not call for oil, I do not say add oil, do I? I don't think I do. I get a little MCT happy myself. But you're asking me on best case scenario, I think you are. So if I'm having a recipe, the original use here for MCT oil was I was looking for a fat that I could use that would have less propensity to be stored as a fat on my body. So I have all these recipes. And in these recipes, they call for vegetable oil or margarine or butter or olive oil. I replace those oils with MCT oil, giving me an advantage, because now, rather than consuming LCTs that are easily stored as fat, I'm consuming MCTs in place of those fats. Some recipes would not taste very good without an oil or fat, right? What you're saying is I have a coffee. Now, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, okay? A recipe needs a fat. Some things that we griddle, some things that we saute, they have to have a fat or they're not going to taste good. So here's my question for you, Diane. I'd like for you to, because I'm not a big coffee drinker, maybe you can expound on this and change my mind. So with coffee tastes like coffee. So if I add MCT oil, does it enrich the flavor of that coffee? Does the coffee need an oil, MCT oil? We won't call it a cooking oil. Does that coffee need that oil to taste like coffee? So to taste good, to be enjoyable, what noticeable benefit are you getting from the coffee when you add MCT oil? Most people will say, I'm not really perceiving any benefit from the MCT fat that's in the coffee, but I'm told it helps me lose weight. In that case, I'm saying you're wrong. It will not help you lose weight faster than the coffee without it would have. That's what I'm saying. Now, when would one have it and it work to their benefit? Because they're sold on bulletproof coffee, treated as a snack. So if you want to have a coffee with MCT oil, a pre-digested liquid coffee, and that's another thing you're unpacking there. When I have chicken and broccoli cooked in MCT oil, I've got protein and fiber. That MCT oil, everything I'm consuming is slow digesting. When I consume the MCT oil in a pre-digested coffee, it's much faster digesting. So you're getting an energy surge, which could be perceived as a good thing. Potentially, most people I talk to say they can't really perceive an energy surge any more than they can with just a regular cup of coffee. But you're getting fast digestion. When you add anything, when you consume anything that's pre-digested, you're going to get faster digestion than you will with something that's whole food. And faster digestion doesn't always work towards our benefit or good. If you said, I really am sold on this bulletproof coffee thing, then what I would do, this is not for anybody else but Diane. If you're a believer, your results will come from your reduction in calories, by the way, not the MCT oil. But if you're a believer in that, then you would have to count a cup of coffee with 1 tablespoon of MCT oil. You would have to count that as a half of a snack if you really wanted it. then is it as good for you as any other 100 calorie approved snack? Yeah, it would be. I'd probably rather you have. There's so many variables based upon your situation and what you're trying to accomplish. That's why I'm here. If your goal was to replace some things you're currently eating with a cup of coffee and some MCT oil a couple of times a day, I might be all for that. That would be better than, say, a Quest bar. A cup of coffee with MCT oil would be better for you than a Quest snack bar. So I'm not saying no. I'm saying, as a general rule of thumb, adding MCT oil to anything and everything is going to be counterproductive. Thank you, Nikki. Kim Dankeys refers to MCT like you do. Thank you. Sandra, just FYI, speaking of calorie intake, I was at Kroger and buying Carbmaster milk. They now have reduced fat, but looking at the label, it has 100 calorie versus 60. So I bought the original. Yeah, I don't know anything about the reduced fat one. I'm sure if it comes up enough, I'll get to know about it, because I'll have to look at it. But I would steer away from it. As long as we got Kroger Carbmaster milk, let's stick with that. Diane says, no, it doesn't enrich the flavor. And again, I'm speaking from ignorance because I don't know. I don't think I've ever tried that. I have added, Diane, MCT oil to my shake, but it's when I was trying to put on muscle. I needed to get into a calorie surplus, and I did not want my calorie surplus to come from non-quality calories. And MCT oil is a clean calorie source, whereby if I can get in a surplus, I can put on more muscle and not put on fat. But if your MCT oil isn't enriching the flavor of your coffee and you're not seeing a noticeable energy boost, I would avoid that and just use MCT oil as a cooking oil. I was asking for someone else. Okay. I get asked that a lot, and I just hate to see people that are trying to lose weight thinking that. Let me give you a better example. Supplements that have sugar in them. And I've seen some of these collagen. I've seen some of these supplements that people want to take as, a supplement, all kind of different things that have 60, 70 calories. Well, whatever little bit of good the vitamins and minerals was doing, you just ruin the impact of it by adding those calories. So it just doesn't help to add calories to everything. Calories all break down differently, but they all have to be used. So when we add more calories, that's less calories that's going to come from our stored fat. So if it doesn't have a real enjoyable use factor, I wouldn't do it. Bio coffee, make sure you're using it. One serving is a half a snack, 2 servings is a full snack. Bio coffee. Don't want to drink it like coffee. Regular coffee is a freebie. Bio coffee is not. Karen, are there perfect day sample meals on the website? Karen, I'm not sure how to unpack your question. There's thousands of meal ideas on the website. I don't know that there's one place you go to and pull off those 1,000 meals, but there's tons of meals and meal ideas. What I would ask you to do, Karen, for help is schedule a mentor appointment, and they would be able to help you with meal ideas. One of the reasons I haven't ever done that, where here's a meal plan that people can get without coming to my classes. It lasts a day or two. They don't really understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, why it's working, why it's not working. They don't understand how food breaks down in the body. Then Shibboleth gets a bad name. I'd much rather you go through the classes and learn how to put your meals together. Come to some of the meal planning classes. Because what happens if I put a meal plan out there and you go, half the stuff I don't even like, then you probably wouldn't participate very long anyway. So We offer free mentoring to help you based upon your likes. So you fill out a form and you go, okay, I don't like these foods, I like these foods. And then the mentor can help you put together a perfect meal plan that's just for you with all the foods that you like. One of the things I noticed when I put out my own personal meal plans is people go, ooh, I don't like fish. So you don't have to like fish, but that's how it is. People see, they look at that meal plan, they go, I don't like any of this stuff. And then it gives us a bad name. So I'd much rather you get a mentor appointment and let them understand what you like and then how to put that together. Um, you'll enjoy the program more if you do that. Do you know how to get a mentor appointment? Most people say they don't have time for one, so maybe I need to look at putting stuff on the website anyway, but it seems to have backfired on me in the past. Any other questions? This is so much different than a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's about educating ourselves on nutrition and behavior modification that's made for the real world. Fast food restaurants, family style restaurants, recipes on the go. Just understanding how calories, how foods break down in our body is so important. Lisa, asking for a friend. Can you add Bailey's to approved hot chocolate and call it a condiment? It makes for a great holiday around the campfire. That's what my friend says. I haven't drank any Bailey's. Let me look it up real quick. Very high calorie, extremely high calorie. 3 ounces is 327 calories. This is not a good thing. 25 grams of carbohydrate. So my question would be, how much Bailey's do you want to add to it? It doesn't have to be a holiday. I can make anything work. That's what's great about the program. I don't like making it work in front of a big group because people hear the things I say differently than the individual does. But how much Bailey's do you want to put? If you can keep it at if it's enjoyable to you and you can keep it at 50 calories or less, I think you'll be okay. I don't think it's a great thing to do. You would have to count it as a snack, but it's either a holiday or you can have it as a snack if you can limit the calories. You got bad stuff going on there. You got alcohol, that's acetate. You got acetate along with high carbs, high fat. It sounds like a recipe for disaster. Okay, nice, Lisa, good. Okay. Just letting you know, I can make anything work. Depends on what the rest of your day looks like, though. What does the Spark collagen count as? I got a free sample with my order. I don't even know. I'd have to go look. I don't use it. Sasha uses it, so maybe she should be in here on this one. I use almost everything they got, but I don't use the collagen. I get mine from bone broth, so 35 calories. I would just call it an extra. One serving as an extra. Let me know that you got that you understand that. So I just looked at the nutritional label on it and I would count it as an extra supplement. Jessica, yes, one-on-one questions. I don't do one-on-ones anymore. I was having to charge for them because I'd stay booked up all day doing one-on-ones, and then I couldn't attend to the management of the program. So even though it was good money, I hated to give up. I had to cease doing them. But we do have mentors that do them for free, and they're able to answer 95% of the questions that you're going to have. So yes, you can schedule a one-on-one. I'm not so sure they're going to be able to modify everything for you like I can. Not that they couldn't, but they wouldn't want to take the chance that they're telling you something incorrectly. So if you're looking for how to make a Reese cup work on a perfect day, they're not going to be the best for that. The mentor appointment is for you to ask general questions about the lifestyle and get some general information about the lifestyle that's specific to your situation. Chris says, I use a collagen 30 calories. I put it in my coffee and I've been counting it as a condiment. You do not, there is no such thing as adding you can't follow the regular condiment rule with coffee because coffee's pre-digested. That goes back to what we discussed with Diane. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm just saying your coffee's not a freebie at that point. You need to call that maybe an extra. If you were adding MCT oil, that would be 100 calories. You're adding collagen, which is 30 calories. But the only thing that we should be adding to our coffee, according to the standard program we teach, is artificial sweetener or sugar alcohol like xylitol or monk fruit, and 15 calorie or less coffee creamer. You're using 30 calories of that, or you're using other calories too, because that's just a straight influx of calories that your body has to deal with immediately because you're putting it in a pre-digested beverage. There's no such thing as coffee plus a condiment, unless you're calling approved coffee creamer a condiment. Condiments go on food. That's how I approach it. Condiments go on food, not in coffee. Not a big deal. It's 30 calories, goes towards your total calories for the day, and it's a negligible amount of calories. Joni makes a good comment on Facebook. If you want them to do a journal review, you need to have at least 2 weeks of journal entries. A lot of times people book those appointments and sometimes they're frustrated. And my team, they really can't help you if you don't have a journal. And most people don't have a journal. So they're going to just send you away from that appointment and tell you to go back and journal and then come back when you have something that they can review. So it's very important that we all journal. Journaling is a part of the Bulletproof Shield. I know the vast majority of our clients do not journal. That means the vast majority of our clients forego the power and benefits of our program, because many of the power and benefits of our program rest in your consistent journal entries. We have clients that have lost over 100 pounds and they've never had a perfect day because they don't journal. And most of them will gain their weight back and have gained their weight back. Jessica, if you wanted to make coconut battered shrimp, what would be the best way to do that? Or would that take research? I would suggest Bob's Red Mill coconut flakes. You're probably a lot better cook than I am. Sasha would have better ideas than me. But if I was going to batter something in coconut flakes, I would probably get Bob's Red Mill coconut flakes and ground them into like a flour. And then along with maybe even use some Carb Quick and coconut flakes. That's how I would approach it. Either TVP and coconut flakes or Carb Quick and coconut flakes. Let me know how that goes. I think I could pull that off, so I'm certain you could. The chat button at the bottom right of the website is great for a quick answer on foods or good combinations before you mess up. Thank you. Glad y'all like that. We do our best. We will never be able to do it all, but we do our best. Thank you. Yes, I would fry that in MCT oil. I dip my shrimp in egg white wash or egg wash, roll it around in either TVP and Carb Quick. And then after grinding the flakes into a finer flour with the coconut, I'd roll it around in that too. Then I'd fry it in MCT oil. That's what I would give a shot. That's what I would try if I wanted that. I have a private question. I am not sure if this is the format to ask, and I'm late getting on the call. I have lost almost all of my weight. I am 55 and my legs and stomach have cellulite. Is there anything I can do to help with that? YouTube video, there are tons of them out there. No need for me to do videos on this. Tons of them out there. Body brushing. So you want to stay hydrated, well hydrated. Body brushing. Sasha uses the Ashley Black device. She says it does work. She's consistent with it. Ashley Black, I believe, is the name of it. You've lost your weight, so that's the first thing to do. You lose the weight, and then you maintain that weight loss. You don't yo-yo diet. Yo-yo dieting is terrible for cellulite. So you maintain a proper lifestyle. You continue to stay well hydrated. You get exercise, and then beyond that, there's body brushing or that Ashley Black device. Hope that helps. Sandra says, please repeat the quick answer on the website. So if you go to the website at the bottom, there's a chat feature. I'm going to log out. So when I go to the My Shibboleth website, right here, Sandra, I have a chat with us. I click it, and that begins a chat with our team. So if you're having some struggle during the day, you can go to this chat resource and get started. It's that simple. Joni's on a chat right now. Good job, Joni. Anybody else before I go to the noon session? Did I miss anything? There's my mom. Mom showed up. Journal has made a huge difference for me. Can look back and see how my body reacts to certain foods. It has made me successful. Good job, Mom. Love you. Best lifestyle ever. Reached my goal weight and feel so confident. Even vacationing. Love you, Mama. Good job. And she sent me 200 stars. Thank you for the stars. Appreciate that. I love you too. Thank you, Nikki. We appreciate everybody. I'm going to go to the 12 o'clock session. The 12 o'clock session will continue with Q&A, and it will end at 12:30 today due to an appointment I have. So come on over there and ask some more good questions. These were great questions today. Appreciate every one of our questions. It's your interaction that makes the class great. See you at 12.